The receptionist at the wellness spa grabbed my arm and whispered something that made my blood run cold. "Don't sign anything your daughter gives you today. Nothing." My daughter was standing 20 feet away, smiling at me, holding what looked like insurance paperwork in her perfectly manicured hands. That's when I realized the stranger was trying to save me from my own child. You won't believe what happened next. Before we continue, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This story has twists that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about family, and you'll want to hear every devastating detail. My name is William Patterson. I'm 67 years old, and for 29 years I was a high school principal in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I've spent my entire career learning to read people, to spot the kids who were troubled, the ones who were lying, the ones who needed help. But when it comes to your own children, you see what you want to see. You ignore the red flags. You make excuses. Until one day, a complete stranger forces you to confront the truth you've been running from. It started on a Tuesday morning in October. My daughter Claire called, which wasn't unusual. What was unusual was the cheerfulness in her voice. Since my wife Catherine died 3 years ago from ovarian cancer, Claire had been distant. Oh, she'd visit on holidays, make the obligatory phone calls, but there was always this hurry to her, like she had somewhere better to be. But that morning was different. "Dad, I'm taking the day off work. Let's do something fun. Just the two of us, like old times." My heart swelled. This was the Claire I remembered, the girl who used to drag me to the farmer's market every Saturday, who'd spend hours showing me her art projects, who called me her best friend. "What did you have in mind?" I asked. "There's this new wellness spa that opened in Clayton Park, Serenity Haven. Everyone at the firm's been raving about it. I booked us both for the works. Massage, facial, the whole package." My treat. I hesitated. A spa wasn't really my scene. But Claire sounded so excited, so present. I hadn't heard that lightness in her voice since before Catherine died. "All right," I said. "What time?" "I'll pick you up at 11. When Claire arrived, she was dressed immaculately. Tailored wool coat, expensive leather boots, designer handbag, the successful corporate lawyer. Her husband Derek had done well too, something in cryptocurrency that I never fully understood. They lived in a massive house in South End, the kind with 3-car garages and heated driveways. Meanwhile, I still lived in the modest bungalow on Roby Street that Catherine and I had bought in 1985. After she died, Claire had suggested I sell it, move into a condo. "It's too much house for one person, Dad, too many memories." But I couldn't. Catherine's presence was still in every corner. Her garden, her books, her piano that nobody played anymore. I couldn't bring myself to move. The drive to the spa was filled with small talk. Claire asked about my golf game, about the neighbors, about whether I'd been eating properly. Concerned daughter questions. But there was something rehearsed about it, like she was checking items off a list. Serenity Haven was tucked into a converted Victorian house. Inside, it smelled of lavender and eucalyptus. Soft music played. Everything was cream and pale blue and carefully designed to make you feel calm. The receptionist greeted us warmly. Young woman, maybe late 20s, with kind eyes and a Vietnamese accent. Her name tag read Mai. "Welcome. You must be the Pattersons. We have you both scheduled for our premium package." Claire pulled out her credit card before I could protest. Like I said, my treat. While Claire signed us in, I wandered over to look at the art on the walls. Watercolors of Nova Scotia coastlines. One reminded me of Peggy's Cove, where Catherine and I had gone for our 20th anniversary. "Mr. Patterson." I turned. Mai was standing close, closer than professionally necessary. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Yes? Could you step over here for a moment? I need to confirm some information." Claire was still at the desk, reading the service menu. Mai led me around a corner into a small alcove near the restrooms. "I probably shouldn't say this," she whispered, glancing nervously toward the reception area. "But please, sir, don't sign anything your daughter gives you today." "Nothing." My stomach went cold. "I'm sorry." "What?" "My grandmother," Mai continued quickly, urgently. Similar situation. Daughter took her to spa, to hair salon, to nice restaurants, always getting her to sign things. "Just insurance forms, Grandma. Just updating your will, Grandma." By the time we figured out what was happening, she'd signed over power of attorney. Lost her house, lost everything. I stared at this young woman, this stranger who was telling me my daughter, my Claire, my little girl who used to climb into my lap with picture books, was trying to steal from me. "You must be mistaken." "I hope I am, sir. I really do." But I saw the paperwork she brought in her bag, legal documents, and the way she's been touching your arm, steering you, speaking for you. "I've seen this before." She pressed a business card into my hand. "If you need help, this is elder law attorney," she helped my grandmother. Then she walked away, leaving me standing in that alcove, my heart pounding. I looked down at the card. Patricia Morrison, elder law specialist. I tucked it into my pocket and returned to the reception area. Claire was waiting, that bright smile on her face. "Everything okay, Dad?" "Fine," I said. "Just fine." The massage was supposed to be relaxing, but I couldn't stop thinking about Mai's words, about the paperwork in Claire's bag, about the careful way she'd been steering me all morning. Was I being paranoid? Was I letting a stranger's warning poison my relationship with my daughter? But then I remembered. 2 months ago, Claire had brought over insurance forms for me to sign. Life insurance, she'd said, just updating the beneficiary information. I'd signed without reading them carefully. 3 weeks ago, she'd asked me to sign a healthcare directive. Just making sure everything's in order, Dad, in case anything happens. I'd signed that too. And last week, she'd mentioned something about updating my will, making sure everything was clear for when the time came. I felt sick. After the massage, Claire was waiting in the relaxation room with tea and those same insurance forms. Dad, while you're feeling so relaxed, I thought we could take care of some paperwork. It won't take long. She spread the documents across the small table between us. This is just a power of attorney form, standard stuff. It means if anything happens to you, if you get sick or confused, I can make sure your bills get paid, that you're taken care of. She handed me a pen. Just sign here and we're done. I looked at the documents, at my daughter's perfectly manicured hand holding out the pen, at her smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I think I'd like to read these first, I said. Something flickered across her face. Annoyance? Fear? Dad, it's just standard legal language. I'm a lawyer, remember? I wouldn't give you anything that wasn't in your best interest. I'm sure you wouldn't, I said carefully. But I'd still like to take them home, review them properly. Maybe run them by my own lawyer. The smile froze on her face. You don't trust me? I just want to be careful. After everything I've done for you, after Mom died, all the times I've helped you, and you don't trust me? Claire, I didn't say that. But she was already gathering up the papers, shoving them back into her expensive leather bag. You know what? Forget it. Let's just finish this spa day and go home. The drive back was silent. When we pulled into my driveway, Claire didn't turn off the engine. Thanks for the spa day, I said. Yeah, she said, not looking at me. Sure. I got out and watched her drive away. Then I pulled out Mai's business card and called the number. Patricia Morrison answered on the second ring. This is William Patterson, I said. The receptionist at Serenity Haven gave me your card. I think my daughter might be trying to steal from me. There was a pause. Can you come to my office tomorrow morning? Bring any documents she's asked you to sign. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed in the house Catherine and I had shared for 38 years, and I thought about Claire, about the little girl who used to make me breakfast in bed on Father's Day, about the teenager who'd stayed up with me when Catherine was in the hospital, holding my hand, telling me everything would be okay. When had she changed? Or had I just stopped seeing who she really was? The next morning I sat in Patricia Morrison's office and showed her everything. The insurance forms, the healthcare directive, the power of attorney documents Claire had tried to get me to sign. Patricia read through them carefully, her expression growing darker with each page. Mr. Patterson, she said finally, if you had signed this power of attorney, your daughter would have had complete control over your assets. She could have sold your house, emptied your bank accounts, anything, and you would have had no recourse. But she's my daughter. That doesn't matter. What matters is intent. And from what I'm seeing here, combined with what the receptionist observed, your daughter is engaged in what we call elder financial abuse. I felt dizzy. What do I do? First, we need to document everything. Every time she's asked you to sign something, every conversation about money or property. Then we need to find out if you're the only target. What do you mean? Mr. Patterson, if your daughter is doing this to you, she's probably done it to others. People who trust their children don't question legal documents. It's the perfect crime. Over the next week, Patricia and I worked together to trace Claire's activities. What we found was devastating. In the past 2 years, Claire and Derek had targeted 17 elderly clients through their professional networks. They'd use Claire's legal expertise to draft documents that looked legitimate, then Derek would create investment opportunities that were actually just ways to funnel money into offshore accounts. The spa days, the restaurant visits, the attention and care. It was all part of the grooming process. Get the target relaxed, off guard, grateful for the attention, then strike. They'd stolen nearly $2.4 million. I was just supposed to be number 18. Patricia brought in the police. Detective Sarah Chen was assigned to the case. She was in her 40s, sharp-eyed and direct. Mr. Patterson, she said, I need you to understand something. If we're going to build a case against your daughter, you're going to have to help us. That means wearing a wire. That means getting her to confess on tape. She's my daughter. She's also a criminal who's destroyed 17 families. Detective Chen showed me photos of the victims. An elderly man who lost his house and now lived with his sister. A widow who lost her entire retirement savings. A couple who'd saved for 50 years, gone in 3 months. I looked at those faces and thought about Catherine, about how hard we'd worked to build our life, about how easily it could all be taken away. I'll do it, I said. The next day, I called Claire. I've been thinking about what you said, about the power of attorney. You're right. I should have trusted you. There was a pause. Really? Really? Why don't you come over tonight? Bring the papers. Let's get this taken care of. I could hear the relief in her voice. I'll be there at 7. Detective Chen and her team arrived at 5 to set up the recording equipment. They placed microphones throughout the house, hidden cameras in the kitchen and living room. This is going to be hard, Detective Chen said. But remember, You're doing this for those 17 families, and for yourself. When Claire arrived, she was all smiles again. She'd brought wine, expensive cheese, the power of attorney documents. We sat at the kitchen table, the same table where Catherine had taught Claire to bake when she was 6 years old. So, Claire said, spreading out the papers. Let's make this official. Before I sign, I said, can you explain something to me? How did we get here? She looked up. What do you mean? I mean, when did you decide to steal from me? Her face went pale. Dad, what are you talking about? The 17 families, Claire. The offshore accounts. The fake investments. When did you decide to do this to your own father? She stood up. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me. I've already talked to the police. I know everything. For a moment, she just stared at me. Then something in her face shifted. The mask came off. You know what your problem is, Dad? You're too trusting, too sentimental. You're sitting in this house, clinging to memories of Mom, when you could sell it for $1 million. You have money just sitting there doing nothing while I'm drowning in debt. So you decided to steal it. I decided to take what should have been mine anyway. Derek and I have worked so hard, built this life, and what do we have? Debt. Student loans, business loans, mortgage on that ridiculous house. Meanwhile, you're sitting on a paid-off house worth a fortune, retirement accounts you'll never spend, and you won't even help your own daughter. I never said I wouldn't help you. Help, she spat the word. You mean give me a few thousand here and there while making me feel guilty about it? No thanks. This way is cleaner. What about the other 17 families? What about them? They were rich. They had more than they needed. We just redistributed it. You destroyed them, Claire. An elderly man lost his home. A widow lost everything. They should have been more careful. I looked at this woman, my daughter, and didn't recognize her. Where did I go wrong? She laughed, bitter and sharp. You really want to know? It was when Mom got sick and you both shut me out. I wanted to help, to be there, but you wouldn't let me. You sent me away, told me to focus on my career, that you had it handled. And then she died, and I wasn't even there. I was in Toronto at a deposition because you told me not to come. So don't you dare stand there and act like you're the victim. You abandoned me first. The words hit like a physical blow, because she was partly right. Catherine hadn't wanted Claire to see her deteriorate, to remember her mother weak and in pain, and I'd gone along with it. We'd thought we were protecting her. Instead, we'd pushed her away and into the arms of a man who'd exploited her desperation and loneliness. But that didn't excuse what she'd done. Detective Chen came to the door 20 minutes after Claire left. Her team had recorded everything. We got what we need, she said. She'll be arrested this afternoon. Derek was picked up an hour ago. What happens now? Now we build the case. With your daughter's statement, the confession we just recorded, we can connect the dots on all 17 victims. We can pursue asset recovery. It won't be fast and it won't be 100%, but it's something. And Claire? That depends on her cooperation. If she testifies against Derek, helps us recover the funds, shows genuine remorse, the prosecutor might offer a deal. 3 to 5 years instead of 15. 3 to 5 years. My daughter in prison. Mr. Patterson, Detective Chen, said gently, you did the right thing. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you did. After she left, I walked through the empty house. So quiet, too quiet. I ended up at Catherine's piano. I hadn't played since high school, but I sat down anyway and pressed a single key. Middle C. It rang out clear and true. Catherine had kept this piano tuned right up until the end, always hoping I'd play again, always believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. I thought about Claire's words, about how we'd shut her out, about how pain can twist people, make them do things they never imagined, about how love without boundaries becomes enabling. My phone rang. My brother Thomas. William, I just heard. I'm so sorry. Do you need me to fly out? No, I said. I'll be okay. What will you do? I looked around at Catherine's house. Our house. The place she'd fought to protect. I don't know yet. But I won't sell it, I won't leave. This is where Catherine is, where I can still feel her. And maybe someday after Claire serves her time, after she's done the work to become someone her mother would be proud of again, maybe she'll come home. And the door will be open. You're a better man than I am, Thomas said. No, I'm just a father who failed his daughter, and now I'm trying to do right by everyone else's children. 6 months later, Claire pleaded guilty. She testified against Derek, helping the prosecution recover nearly $1.9 million of the $2.4 million stolen. 17 families got most of their money back. Not all, never all, but enough to rebuild. Claire got 4 years. Derek got 25. I visit her once a month at the Burnside Correctional Facility. She doesn't always want to see me. Sometimes she's angry, sometimes she's broken. Sometimes she almost looks like my Claire again. I always tell her the same thing. When you get out, you have a home, but you have to earn it, not with money, with becoming the person your mother knew you could be. Last week, she actually smiled at that. A small smile, but real. I'm taking accounting courses, she said. Learning how to help people manage money properly. Maybe when I get out, I can do something good with what I learned. Your mother would like that. I still sleep in Catherine's chair some nights when the house feels too empty. I still keep her garden. I still play middle C on her piano, just one note to hear it ring true. And I wait. Because that's what fathers do. We wait. We hope. We keep the door open, even when we know we were wrong. Especially then. The receptionist who saved me, became a friend. She stops by sometimes with Vietnamese food her grandmother makes, and we sit on the porch and talk about family, about trust, about the courage it takes to tell the truth when no one wants to hear it. Her grandmother got her house back, eventually. The legal process was long and painful, but justice came. It doesn't always, Mai told me. You were lucky I was working that day, lucky I recognized the signs. Or maybe Catherine sent you, I said. Mai smiled at that. Maybe she did. The 17 families I helped save, they send cards sometimes. Thank you notes, photos of grandchildren who will now have college funds. Stories of homes that weren't lost, of retirements that were saved. I keep them in a box on Catherine's piano. Some nights, when the house is too quiet and I'm missing my wife and my daughter, I open that box and read them. Reminders that even in the worst moments, even when doing the right thing costs you everything, you're still leaving the world better than you found it. That's what Catherine would have wanted. That's what I'm trying to teach Claire, even from behind bars. That redemption is possible. That change is real. That love means holding people accountable precisely because you believe they can be better. Next month, Claire will be eligible for her first work release program. She wants to volunteer at a nonprofit that helps financial fraud victims. It's a start. The door is open. It always has been. That's my story. About the day a stranger saved me from my own daughter and how I saved my daughter from herself. If this resonated with you, please share it. There are too many elderly people being financially abused by family members who think love gives them the right to steal. It doesn't. Love means protecting people, even when that protection comes in the form of prosecution. Love means boundaries. Love means accountability. And sometimes, love means letting people fall so they can learn to stand on their own. Thank you for listening. And if you ever find yourself in a spa and a receptionist pulls you aside to warn you about your own child, listen to them. They might be the only one brave enough to tell you the truth.